Do you know what separates the Austrian School of Economics from the Chicago School? Well, that's a tough one. These two influential schools of thought, born in different times and places, have shaped our understanding of economic theory in profound ways. The Austrian School, hailing from late 19th century Vienna, places a great emphasis on methodological issues, asserting that economic theory is an a priori discipline. On the other hand, the Chicago School, blossoming in the mid-20th century United States, is known for its vigorous defense of free market principles and its development of models, even with false assumptions, to interpret economic phenomena. These two schools, each with its unique perspectives and methodologies, offer us rich insights into the complexities of economics. So, are you ready to dive into the world of economics and unravel these two intriguing schools of thought? Let's get started. First off, let's explore the Austrian School of Economics. This school of thought, originating from Austria, is unique in its approach to economics. It's like a detective meticulously piecing together clues, not to solve a crime, but to understand the complex world of economics. At the heart of the Austrian school is a focus on methodological issues. Simply put, it's about how we study and understand economics. The Austrians believe that economics should be approached as an a priori discipline. This might sound a bit jargon-heavy, but it essentially means that they think economic truths can be discovered through logical deduction, much like in mathematics or philosophy. They don't believe we need to run real-world experiments to learn about economics. Instead, they argue that we can learn about it through thought experiments and reasoning. Moreover, the Austrian school has a unique take on economic booms and busts. Unlike other schools of thought, they see booms as periods of unsustainable economic activity fueled by misguided investment decisions. And what about busts? Those times when the economy takes a nosedive? Well, the Austrians see them as a necessary correction period when the economy adjusts and gets back on track after the distortions caused by the boom. Finally, the Austrian school is distinct in its policy prescriptions for these busts. While some economists might advocate for government intervention to stimulate the economy during a bust, the Austrians are more hands-off. They believe that the market, if left to its own devices, will naturally correct itself and return to a state of balance. Now that we've gotten a grasp on the Austrian school, how about we delve into the Chicago School? Now let's turn our attention to the Chicago School of Economics. This school of thought holds a unique place in economic theory, with its own particular approach to understanding the way economies work. The Chicago School is known for its advocacy for the development of models with false assumptions. Now that might seem counterintuitive, but let me explain. These economists believe that the models they create, even with assumptions that may not hold true in the real world, can still provide valuable insights. Think of it as a simplified version of reality, a sketch that helps us understand the bigger picture. But where does this school stand on money and law and economics? Well, the Chicago School has a distinctly pragmatic view on money. They see it not just as a medium of exchange, but as an integral part of the economic system that can influence things like inflation and interest rates. When it comes to law and economics, the Chicago School brings a unique perspective. They see economic principles not just confined to the marketplace, but as fundamental laws that govern society. For them, understanding economics is essential for understanding and interpreting law. In essence, the Chicago School advocates for a pragmatic and wide-reaching application of economic principles. They believe that even with imperfect models and broad assumptions, we can still glean valuable insights about the world around us. Having understood both schools, you might be wondering, where do they differ? So, what sets these two schools apart? Let's dive into the key differences between the Austrian and Chicago schools of economics. At their core, these differences revolve around methodology, views on economic theory, and policy prescriptions. Starting with methodology, the Austrian school places high emphasis on methodological issues. They believe in the importance of individual human action in the economic process. In contrast, the Chicago school tends to focus on the development of models, often based on assumptions that may not necessarily hold true in real-life scenarios. It's like comparing a painter who paints from life to one who paints from a mathematical model. The end results may both be beautiful, but the process is entirely different. In terms of economic theory, the Austrians view this as an a priori discipline. This essentially means that they believe economic truths can be discovered through logical deduction, without the need for empirical evidence. Picture it like a detective piecing together a case from clues and logical reasoning. The Chicago school, on the other hand, leans more towards empirical evidence. They advocate for the use of data and statistical methods to understand and predict economic behaviors. This is more akin to a scientist conducting experiments to test a hypothesis. Now let's consider policy prescriptions, particularly in relation to economic booms and busts. The Austrians have a unique explanation for these cycles, attributing them to the manipulation of interest rates and credit expansion. They argue for non-intervention during economic downturns, believing that the market should correct itself naturally. Conversely, the Chicago School tends to favor interventionist policies during economic downturns. They believe that monetary authorities can and should take action to prevent or mitigate recessions. It's a bit like the difference between letting a fever run its course and taking medicine to bring it down. Finally, the two schools also diverge in their views on money and law. The Austrians see money as a market phenomenon and law as a product of human interaction, while the Chicago School often views these elements in more mechanistic terms. So there you have it, a detailed comparison of the Austrian and Chicago schools of economics. From methodology to economic theory, from policy prescriptions to views on money and law, these two schools offer distinctly different perspectives on how economies work and should be managed. Now that we've explored the differences, do you think you can identify which school a particular economic theory aligns with? Now that we've journeyed through these two schools of economic thought, I have a question for you. Which school do you believe holds more relevance in today's economic climate? The Austrian school, with its focus on methodological issues and the belief that economic theory is a priori discipline? Or do you lean more towards the Chicago school, advocating for the development of models with false assumptions? It's a fascinating debate, isn't it? One that has been at the heart of economic theory for decades. Both schools offer unique perspectives and potential solutions to economic challenges. So, what's your take? I invite you to share your views, your thoughts, your insights. Let's turn this into a lively discussion, a platform for knowledge exchange. Remember, there's no right or wrong answer here. It's all about perspective. Maybe you have a completely different take on economic theory. That's the beauty of the subject. It's vast, it's complex, and it's ever-evolving. So don't hold back. Let's start a conversation. Let's learn from each other. As we close this chapter, I want to remind you that your voice matters. So, if there's a topic you'd like to delve into next, let us know. Drop your suggestions in the comments section, and we'll do our best to explore them in our upcoming videos. Don't forget to leave your suggestions for our next topic in the comments section. And if you found this video informative, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss any upcoming videos. Until next time, keep exploring and keep learning.